Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my theory tuition series where I'm leading you step by step through the ABRSM theory grades. There are loads of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. You can download those in US letter or A4 to accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials on that website, and you can also access information about the books I have available. I've written How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's an exam technique guidebook full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam, and also how to best make use of the time when you're actually in the exam room on exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that'd be great, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. And now we're going to finish the paper C of the 2017 Grade 2 practice papers. So if you turn with me to page 13, we'll get this paper completed. So I'm hoping that you've had a go of these yourself. It's always better to try these on your own first of all. It doesn't matter if you go wrong. It's always better to learn by your mistakes rather than just copying it through with me. It's much more actively involved, even if you get it wrong. We're always working in pencil, so it doesn't matter. You can just rub those mistakes out and try again. So I'm hoping you've had a go of this. So question 7 asks us to rewrite the following melody in notes of half the volume. Now they very helpfully changed the key signature for us and started it off, so even if you didn't quite get the gist, you could soon work it out from what they've done. We're going from 3 minim beats per bar, 3 half notes, to 3 crotchet beats per bar, so everything's halved, so the minim becomes a crotchet, or the half note becomes a quarter note. You can see here we've gone from crotchet to quaver, quaver to semi-quaver, and so on. So we just literally copy that out, but then we're going to have to regroup or rebeam these notes as we change the time values. So this becomes a dotted quaver or dotted eighth note, and so this one will become a semi-quaver. Just be careful to copy the pitch correctly. Don't lose marks by not copying. So there's our first need to group. You wouldn't have those stemmed separately. So here we've got a dotted minim, dotted half note, so we'll just colour that in, and it becomes a dotted crotchet, dotted quarter note. So now these are going to be quavers. So I'm just going to get the note heads in, which would technically have stems like that. However, we're going to have to group them. However, we don't group all of those together. Remember, we're in crotchet beats. We need to group things into crotchet beats or quarter note beats. We've got 1.5 beats here. So this half beat is not going to be grouped because that belongs to this beat here. These two will be beamed together because there's beat 1. Beat 2 is here. That's the second half of beat 2. Here is beat 3 that we will beam together. So you've just got to be careful with the way you group those there. So then here, this one will become a quaver or an eighth note. And then these will become semi-quaver, so we'll need to stick an extra beam, an extra line. So these will be all grouped together because a half and 2 quarters will give us a full beat that will need to be beamed together. So if I get the note heads in first, then I'm going to beam those together, and then we show that they are the semi-quavers there like that. So you can easily see that that creates one whole beat. Here we have a semi-breve or a whole note, so we just need to stick a stem on that to make that into a minim or a half note, and now that's complete. Let's press on to question 8. So now we come to our performance directions and Italian terms, And there's no alternative but to just revise these, and bear in mind these are all of grade 1 and all of grade 2, so it's a cumulative, and as you go through the grades you're going to keep building and adding to these. It doesn't replace them, you need to keep adding to them. I suggest that when you revise these, you group them together thematically rather than alphabetically, so you can see which sort of all the things that mean fast or all the things that mean quiet and so on. And by all means colour code it, just get creative with your revision because there's going to be quite a lot of these. So I would just test yourself, have a go, and then come back and we'll check through them together. So let's see how we've got on with these. So they're given the first one, presto means fast, so we just tick that one. Allegretto means fairly quick. If you remember, allegro means quick, and we can see the relationship between the words. We've got allegro, which means quick. Allegretto is fairly quick. Giocoso means playful or merry. And I don't know why, but I always remember that one. It just sounds like a jolly sort of word, so that makes sense to me in my abstract way of thinking. FP, well, we know that F is forte and loud, P is piano and quiet, and it literally means just that, loud, then immediately quiet. Pretty easy to work that one out. Rallentando, that's short for, means gradually getting slower. And here we have this little pointy arrow, staccatissimo, that means super staccato. So we have this little dot, which is the staccato. We have this pointing down arrow, which is staccatissimo. Not to be confused with this arrow that goes sideways, which means accent, so just be careful you don't confuse it with that. There we go then. Let's move on to the last question. So turn over the page to question 9. Just let me dig out my ruler and eraser. So then question 9. So all of these questions are going to be relating to this little extract of music here. So have a crack at this and then we'll work through it together. We'll have to keep shuffling up and down the page. So then let's have a look. Question 1 tells us the melody is in the key of D major. We can see that we've got 2 sharps. There's our key signature for D major. Name the degree of the scale of the first note of the melody. So we can either just count up from a D. So if we think good boys deserve, there's D, that's our first, second, third. We can count it that way and get the answer. Or if you feel better, if you find it harder to do that in the middle of a piece of music, if you write out the steps of the scale, you know you've got D, E, F, G, A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course you've got your key signature, but that's already taken care of in the music, so we won't worry about that. And we know that we've got here a note, good boys do football, a note F, and we can see that F is the third, so you can do it that way as well if you find it easier. Next question, give the letter name of the highest note in the melody. So long as you remember this is in bass clef, let's just glance through all these ledger lines. This is the highest one. So you can work this out by either counting from a note that you already know, or you can work down your octave. We'll do it both ways just so you can see how that works. We know that this top line is A, good boys deserve football always, A, B, C, that's middle C, D, E. So we know that's an E. However, if you could also work it out counting your octave down into more familiar territory, let's count that. Don't forget that's 1 though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 takes us to here. All cows eat grass, all cows eat. So we know that's an E, but an octave higher. So there's 2 ways you can figure that out if you don't recognise it instantly. So note E. So answer true or false to this sentence. The notes in bar 8 are to be played with accents. Let's look at bar 8. And we've just talked about that in the previous question, so we know that they are accents, so that's true. In which bar is the performer told to pause or hold on to a note? Well, as a wild guess, you think you'd just sort of do a bit of a pause at the end. That's a good place to start. And actually that's right. There's our fermata, our pause mark. So bar 8 again. It may not always be there. That's just a good place to guess as a start. Just a little bit of observation now. How many times does this dotted rhythm occur? So let's have a look. So we're looking for dotted quaver semi. So we've got it once here, twice, 3 times, 4 times, not here, there's no dot, 5 times, 6, 7, not there, there, 8 times that occurs. Just a recurring theme there, 8 times. Now then, copy out the music. This is where you keep your eyes peeled. 10 marks for just copy, but make sure you copy the correct bit from the start of bar 5 to the end of bar 8. So actually what we're going to be copying is this second line. They even tell us to make sure we include all of these details, but basically just copy everything. If it helps you, by all means, even pop the bar numbers in just to keep track on what's going on. You won't get penalised for doing that. So we're going to be copying this bar here, this section here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just keep my bar lines aligned with theirs, and that way I'm not going to lose track where I am. I'm not going to run out of space. And I can easily keep in step with what they're doing, and I'm not going to miss anything. So we want our clef. You can do it in any order you like, just as long as you get absolutely everything in. We don't have the time signature because that's in bar 1, but we always have the key signature. So I'm just going to get the note heads in. I prefer to do that ordinarily, although sometimes the mood changes. So do whatever it takes to get all of these marks. That's just 10 easy peasy marks in your exam. So use a nice sharp pencil. At the beginning of the paper, if you remember, it says all answers must be written clearly and neatly, otherwise marks may be lost. And we really don't want to lose any marks, especially when it's just for copying. So there we go. So by all means use a ruler if that's what it takes to keep, except I've just gone wandering off there. To keep it neat and tidy. Semiquavers, I'm going to pop the slur in. I'm just going to do this quickly, but you take the time that you need to get it accurately and neatly drawn. I think I'll just rub this out now so it's not going to be in the way. Staccato. That's the dotted rhythm we've just been looking for. Accent, accent. Pause. Still aren't done yet though. We've got crescendo. Now we want forte here. I want ral here, slowing down a little bit. And make sure I get all of those pause marks in. Slur marks in. There we go. Just double check that through. So in the exam, that's 10 marks pretty much for free, so long as you keep your eyes peeled. So that's the end of that question, and that's the end of the paper. I do hope that that's been helpful to you. Hope you're enjoying it. I certainly am. Please do go to sharonbill.com and make use of all of the information that's available to you there. If you can give me a like and subscribe to my channel to keep updated, that would be fab. That'd be really encouraging to me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.